I had a comment on YouTube requesting that I do a video on how to take out the transfer port and hammer spring on the Maximus. So here it is. As you can see, you don't have to degas it. You just take out off the stock, which is that one screw right there, and it's pretty simple to do when you have both hands working for you. When you're trying to hold a phone and record at the same time, it can be a pain. Next thing you want to do is take off the trigger assembly, and that's really simple. It's one screw there and one captive bolt thing on the forward side of it. So what you want to do is grab a wrench and take that off. It'd help if you grab the right size wrench, which is the 7/16, and just pop it off. Back it off. It's not too terribly tight. There's no need for it to be that awful tight. Do not over tighten that because you will strip it out. Ask me how I know. Luckily, my son came along and decided that he wanted to help out, so I handed him the phone, and now I can work a little better. I always seem to do my worst job when I am being recorded. Now let's you can do a Phillips head or a flathead on that aft screw. Flathead seems to work better, especially if you Loctite them down like I do. It seems to have more grip to break that free. Now you want to loosen up the barrel band, and it's just 2 Allen screws, so don't ask me the size, I can't remember. I fumble through several different sizes here, and I finally find the right one. You do loosen it up. You don't have to take it off. You don't have to take the suppressor off or anything. It'll rotate out of the way. Now it's time to take the screw out of the back side of the breech. It's just a simple flathead screw, and it also goes down and holds in the cap for the hammer spring. There's also a tiny little cap that goes into the breech as well, and that just keeps the bolt from, flying out. With the screw out, you can take the cap for the hammer spring out, and the hammer spring just sits there, and you can take the hammer spring out and swap it out with the 12 foot-pound hammer spring if you want, or put the high power hammer spring in. Now you want to unscrew the bolt handle and slide the bolt probe as far aft as you can. The hammer will prevent it from flying all the way out, but you want to get it back as far as you can. Sometimes you got to take the bolt handle and push it back, but it'll uncover the screw, tiny little Allen head screw that you're going to have to take off to disconnect the breech from the air tube. Now, this screw is tiny, guys. This is the smallest Allen head that was in my set. So be careful and make sure you keep track of all of your hardware, or you'll regret it. And with that screw out, the breech just separates from the air tube. Be careful, and you have access to your transfer port. You can pop out the transfer port, swap it out with the 12 foot-pound. I had to drill out my 12 foot-pound transfer port to get 10.5 foot-pounds. So just find out what size it is if you have a drill bit kit, and just go up one drill bit at a time until you get your desired velocity. Install is the exact opposite of what I've just showed you. Thanks.